Hi, this is Elizabeth, Business Librarian at Western. This is a video on how to use Business Source Complete to do some research for your Marketing 382 class. This quarter you are working with an establishment downtown called Big Love Juice. Big Love Juice, if you look at their website, and I would recommend that you actually dig a little bit into their website and look into their mission, kind of what some of their goals are before you do any initial research. Big Love Juice, as you might tell from their name, offers juices. They also do smoothies and coffee. Additionally, they do have a menu that caters towards those with a specialty diet, more towards those that may be vegan or vegetarian, gluten-free, or they also use the phrase superfood as to describe the type of food that they offer. Big Love Juice is a counter service restaurant, and that means that they are limited service. That is, when you talk about limited service restaurants, that usually means fast casual, a deli, fast food. This can come into play when you're looking for information related to maybe an industry, or maybe even trying to find some information that is related to Big Love Juice. This can also be useful when looking for competitors or looking for information on companies that are similar to Big Love Juice. This front page, this top part of the page, really just looks at some things to think about when you're doing industry or company research related to a restaurant, but also lists some possible terms to use while you are searching. I want to go directly into Business Source Complete. In Business Source Complete, I want to think about the type of restaurant Big Love Juice is, meaning the type of food that they are offering. So I'm going to stick with something fairly simple and do a search for organic restaurant. Scrolling through these, one of the first things I notice is that many of these are dated. You have some things from 98, from the early 2000s. They probably are not going to be that useful. A term that Big Love Juice uses on their own website is superfood. Superfood is a term that is often used to talk about types of foods that are considered nutritionally dense. They are often fruits and vegetables. Sometimes you'll get into fish or meat, but it generally tends to be plant-based. This is a term outside of organic that really talks about a type of restaurant that is getting to what might be considered more of a restaurant trend right now. This idea of superfoods as opposed to organic, which is probably what I would say a broader term. The first article that really jumps out at me is this one right here, number 5. Better for you beverages. The main reason is because Big Love Juice does offer juicing and other types of beverages. This is talking about a shift towards less sweet, more fruit and vegetable type of flavor profiles. So this is a 2-page article. This is from something called Prepared Foods. I can tell by this title, Prepared Foods, that this is actually a trade journal. A trade journal is a publication created by somebody in a specific trade or industry for somebody in a specific trade or industry. The article itself is here. What this does is this actually gives me a little bit of a breakdown of what superfoods mean, or maybe what some of these beverages are like, and then it gets into some specific types of restaurants in some larger locations. Cava Grill, Life Kitchen, True Food Kitchen. It also talks about Native Foods Cafe. Native Foods is actually a chain based in Chicago. So this is looking at restaurants that do similar things to Big Love Juice. This type of article that focuses on the same type of food, the same type of service, can be really useful when you're looking for something that is a local or smaller business. I'm going to go back to our search, and I want to talk more specifically about the type of diets that Big Love Juice caters to. Because superfood is really considered more of this idea of fruits and vegetables, I want to think about that idea of some current dietary trends, specifically plant-based diets or vegan diets, vegetarian, or even gluten-free. I could go in and do a search specifically just for vegan or just for vegetarianism or plant-based, but that would take some time. So I want to talk about something that's called nesting. Nesting is a type of search where you take a term and you put it in quotes and then in parentheses. So we have vegan or vegetarian or plant-based or gluten-free. What this does is it'll search for anything that has any of these terms in it. This is a broader search. And then if we put the entire phrase here in parentheses, it treats all of these words as one specific term. And then we're going to look for restaurants. So we get 945 articles. Scrolling through these results, there was one particular article that caught my eye, and that is this one here. From Plant to Plate, This one here, a plant-based world blossoms, also seems like it could be useful, but let's go ahead and take a look at this one. One of the things that really stuck out at me here are, because it's talking about plant-based foods take root in restaurant menus. So that indicates to me this is an article that is probably about a change in trend or a change in how restaurants are looking at specialty diets. And then these subject terms. Everything in a database is organized by a subject term. So we looked at vegans, vegetarians, that type of thing, but there are some other terms that came up here, specifically flexitarian, which is an idea of a diet of people who don't always eat or may eat meat-free 1 or 2 days a week. But looking at this, the abstract, it's looking at continuous growth of plant-based food and drink at restaurants. So this is going to give me some idea, this is going to give me some trends. That's what I'm hoping for. Even just looking at this first page, 15% of consumers say they follow a specific diet. That's not a huge amount, but scrolling down, 62% eat meatless meal at least once a week. And there's a focus on health and the driving force behind a plant-based consumption. Big Love Juice. Big Love Juice is not a vegan or vegetarian restaurant, but this is specifically looking at some current trends in the restaurant industry that could easily inform a restaurant like Big Love Juice or how they should reach out to a specific consumer. I want to go back to our results. So we've looked a little bit on type of diet. Let's see if I can find anything on a specific restaurant. I could try a search for Big Love Juice. I'm not going to find much. I could even try to search for some of those superfood restaurants that we found. Again, there's not going to be a whole lot. I want to think about the type of restaurant Big Love Juice is. It's a limited service, counter service type of restaurant. So I actually want to look for Chipotle. This may seem a little strange because Chipotle is a larger chain. It's not necessarily something that is geared towards a specialized diet or even something like superfoods. But what I want to look at is their SWOT analysis. A SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths and weaknesses are going to be internal, so that's going to be unique to Chipotle. Opportunities and threats will be kind of industry-wide. So this is information that we don't necessarily need. I want to look at the SWOT. So strengths and weaknesses, those are going to be internal. Some of these might be somewhat useful for Big Love Juice, but I doubt it. Opportunities, positive outlook for the U.S. industry, for the U.S., some recent launches, restaurant performance index, consumer spending in the U.S. Those are all definitely things that could be a boon or a plus for Chipotle, or really probably any restaurant. The threat would be intense competition and changing consumer preferences. That changing consumer preference is really what I want to look at. So if we scroll down, we'll see consumer preferences may vary with changing tastes, dietary concerns, and trends. So that again gets us back to this idea that more specialized or specialty diets are out there, and that may be considered a trend within the restaurant industry. This is a really quick overview on how to use Business Source Complete to do some company research and do some research on Big Love Juice. The next video will focus a little bit more on industry. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Best way to get a hold of me is usually via email. Thanks.